Do you ever have those days where your body just doesn't do what you want it to do? um, after decades of playing sports and moving my body in ways that, I didn't understand how my body worked. So I just pushed it. There's overused muscles, there's injuries, there's all that stuff that I'm just sort of dealing with at an older age. And, sometimes my body just doesn't feel like it wants to be pushed. And I know those times when I shouldn't. And maybe you feel the same way. It's important that we're kind to our body. It's important that we give our body nourishment and everything that it needs in order for it to thrive. So some days the movement can be a little bit different than, what your everyday routine is like. So that's what today is about. Today is about kindness to your body. It's about movement that feels good. So this is what I like to call feel good Pilates. We're going to work on really just finding our alignment, articulating the spine, all of those wonderful things that feel good for our body, as well as creating strength and flexibility. But we're doing it in a slower way. We're doing it in a way where we're really mindful of what we're doing. We're taking the time and the space to really just feel what we're doing, and not push into what we're doing. So let's get to it. You're going to need a handheld towel. I'm going to go get mine now. So go ahead, grab yours, and we'll get started. Now, what I'm going to do before lying down is take this towel. So it's a handheld towel. I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. And then this kind of the longer side, I'm going to roll that so that I have sort of like this rolled up towel. All right. And then what I want you to do is you're going to lie down on your back and you're going to place that towel sort of right underneath your low back. And I just want you to kind of stay right there. Now, this is where you might need that second towel or pillow to place your head on. So if your head is like back here and your neck is strained and you can kind of look back over your head here like you're looking behind you, I want you to really get your gaze straight up to the sky without tension in the neck. So sometimes when you lift your head, and maybe just try that, press pause and try that, and if it alleviates any sort of tension, you're definitely going to keep that pillow there. Okay, so we're here. Bend the legs and just close your eyes. Take an inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Make sure the inhale and the exhale are the same length. Sometimes we have a tendency to make it like a quick sniff and then exhale, or we like inhale long and a quick exhale. I want them both. Count to 5 for each. Make sure it's the same length. Picture your ribs opening up like a balloon, 360 degrees around. Now exhale your air out, tighten up the abdominals. Inhale. And then on your exhale, you're just going to kind of take your feet together and allow your knees to come apart. If you have yoga blocks, if this is uncomfortable for your hips and you have yoga blocks, you can place those kind of right underneath your hips so that it can kind of just release the tension. That might help. If you're okay here, stay here. Push your soles of your feet together. As we inhale, draw your belly in. And then as you exhale, you're going to take those hip bones and pull them up towards your ribs. And when that happens, your low belly and belly are going to pull into that towel. Inhale, let it release. So you kind of tilt the pelvis the other way. Exhale, the pelvis comes in. And that towel will prevent you from over tucking. So this is only about using the belly power to lengthen the back and arc the back. Your tailbone stays down on the mat. We're just sort of feel the distance between your hips and your ribs shorten. Pull it in, and that will lengthen your low back. And then on your inhale, that distance will lengthen, and you'll feel your low back release off the mat or off that towel. On your next exhale, I want you to pull the legs in, maybe have a little distance between them, and we're going to do the same thing. And if you'd rather go back to those knees open, you can. It's kind of just easier to feel sort of that movement of the pelvis. And you can tell it's small. It's small movement. We're not overdoing anything. But feel your belly pulling into that towel. Lengthen that back. And I want you to feel how the abdominals really connect into the spine to create a better connection with that towel. Now, each rep, I want you to get deeper into that connection. All right, now let's get those feet ready for some hip rolls. So you're going to inhale, tilt the pelvis away. On your exhale, we pull the pelvis towards us. Now we're going to continue, and you can feel yourself sort of roll through that towel. We're not going all the way up. We're just kind of lifting that pelvis up, right? And then we're going to roll it down. Inhale, feel yourself connect, your low abs connect with that towel. And then we go back, and that's your inhale. Now we exhale, pull. Feel your abdominals really connect with that towel. The glutes will lift a little bit, so you will kind of connect with those. And then on your inhale, we go down. And then feel it just tilt over that towel. Then your head will kind of slide back and forth on the mat. That's fine. Feet connected. We want those feet nice and even. Nice and slow, just feeling the hip bones pull to the ribs by drawing your belly in. It lengthens through that towel. You're going to feel through yourself, articulate through that towel. And then we lift with that little, kind of just a little bit of a tuck here. And then inhale it down. It's like a little massage for your low back, right? And one more time, exhale, but we're really connecting with those abs. Make sure your knees, everything stays parallel. And bring it on back. All right, so now I want you to find this place. So you feel how now your pelvis is sort of tilted away from you. Can you make it so like the pelvis is just kind of flat? Abdominals in, we're not tucked, we're not tilted, just kind of flat. And by doing that, you're going to kind of get your pelvis nice and heavy, your belly into that pad or that towel. Now I'm going to reach the arms up. Good. And then reach the arms just back a little bit. It's not a lot. Okay. I want you to take an inhale. Exhale. You're going to roll up, and you're not going to let the pelvis tilt either way. You're going to just try to lengthen that upper back over your pelvis. And then we roll it back on and inhale. Exhale. We come up. Try to lift a little bit higher, up and over that towel without that pelvis tucking, and inhale it back. When you bring the arms back, you're hardly bringing them back. They just kind of stay by your ears, maybe a little bit in front. Like they're actually not even lined up with my ears. It's like they're even in above my face. We're going to do some arm work after this, okay? One more. Really think about that upper back flexing up and over that pelvis. One more for fun? Yeah, good. All right, excellent job. Now we're going to take the arms down, and now I want you to really anchor the upper arms and the hands. We're going to roll ourselves up. Inhale the pelvis towards you. Exhale, lift up the pelvis. Now we're going to find that bridge position. Anchor the arms, really reach for your heels, anchor the feet, and now we're going to roll it down. So inhale at the top. Exhale, start to roll it down the upper back first. You're not touching that towel yet until you get through that low back and then end in that flat pelvis. And we inhale it towards us, pulling the pelvis towards the chest. Exhale, push into the feet and lengthen those thighs away from you. Anchor the arms as you press the thighs away as you inhale. Exhale. And then when you get through that low back is when you feel yourself touch that towel. Okay. So you got to get that upper half down first. Inhale and articulate. So we're learning to articulate through the spine. All right. So anchor the upper back as you push your pelvis away from you. And exhale it down. So the chest goes first. Feel yourself through the chest. We have not touched that towel yet. And then we roll through it. And inhale. Abs first. It starts to lift. And then we get into the seat. So push into the feet as you push the thighs away from you. Anchor the triceps. Keep those triceps anchored as you bring the chest down. Pelvis stays up. Pelvis stays up until the last possible moment. One more time. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale here, really breathe into those lungs and the ribs. And then the chest softens, articulating each bone down until you find that flat pelvis. Awesome. Okay. So now lift your pelvis up. We're going to take this towel. You might have to re-roll it if it flattened a little bit. We're now going to put it our mid back, but it's going to take the line of our spine. So you're going to kind of go lengthways. You're going to take that towel lengthways here, and you're going to bring your body down onto it so that your mid back is on it. All right. And you can sort of feel it in between your shoulder blades, and it's going to just open up your chest. This is where many of you are going to need that pillow on your head, under your head. So please make sure you're doing that. Put that there, okay? So now, let's breathe here. Every time you inhale, can you feel your mid back kind of pressing into that towel, out to the sides? One more. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to reach our arms up towards the ceiling. And on your inhale, you're going to reach those elbows out wide and press your triceps into the floor. And notice when you push your triceps like too hard, you're going to elevate your spine off the mat. I want you to keep your spine lengthened into the mat as you keep your triceps pressing down. All right, so that's going to get into a lot of those upper back muscles, mid back muscles. So feel your elbows reaching wall to wall as well as triceps pressing down. Okay, draw your abdominals into your spine as if that rolled up towel is underneath them still. Great. All right, so we're going to reach the arms up and we're going to do that again. We inhale it wide, connect with the floor. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This is great posture work that we're doing here. Feet anchored, pelvis anchored. Everything's working. All right, so now we're going to keep your elbows here. And on your exhale now, try to take the tops of your hands and your forearms to the floor. They don't have to touch, just that actively trying. Now, when you do this, notice if you go too far, your ribs pop and your spine elevates off the mat and off the towel. Pull that mid back into the towel. Keep that connection of the spine on that towel, okay? We rotate it. Now you might feel better to do an inhale and then an exhale or an exhale and inhale. You decide which breath pattern works better for you because the inhale is going to help you sort of extend the spine a little bit to do that. But the exhale helps you connect with your abdominals. So you gauge what do you need to connect with more, and that will determine which breath feels better. So notice when you kind of go into this gate position, right, you're using a lot of back muscles because your back muscles are the foundation of your arms. We also spend so much of our days flexed forward because everything we do is in front of us, right? Pretty much. Driving, tablets, computers, reading, talking to people, sitting, like just eating, everything's in front of us. So we're just naturally flexed forward. So this is awesome to help sort of reverse all of that. So now we're going into that goalpost. I want you to stay there. And again, whether your hands are touching or not, what you're going to try to do is slide your arms up into sort of like a V position without elevating your shoulders to your ears. You want to keep everything connected with the floor. And then we're going to pull it back and bring it back to that sort of lifted position. So try that again. We're going to find the gate. Inhale or exhale, I don't care. And then slide it, draw your abdominals in, keep everything connected, especially the mid back with that towel. Just try a few here and just see, where do I need to connect? Is anything lifting? Is anything disconnecting in your center? Take that time to connect with it. Good. And then we bring it back and then we take it down and bring everything down. Ooh, all right. So let's bring our arms up to the sky. Turn your palms to face each other. All right. Connect your shoulder blades down, the mid back into that towel, and just take one arm back and one arm forward. And then we come back, we switch, and then we reach. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And we just want to do this to make sure we're not shifting side to side. We should have found our center by now. So hopefully you can feel connected as those arms switch and you feel the reach from your center. And take whatever pace works for you on these. Excellent job. All right, so now you're going to reach both those arms up. We're going to stretch our legs long, connect those heels, and flex the feet. All right, reach now both arms behind you, and hopefully we can feel like, ooh, I am connected, and maybe not. All right, we're going to try a roll up here. So I want you to start to flex up, and you're going to feel yourself kind of work through that towel, and then we come back up and then dive it over and flex it. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you want, you can take the towel back to your low back, or you can keep it where it was, whatever felt better for you. Pick one of those two positions. So that's just what your spine needs. And we're going to do a few of these. And we're going to just feel that articulation. Up and over. 3, 2, 1. Draw it back. You're just going to feel your articulation and notice how that towel is going to feel, or it's going to help you through parts of your spine that might be tight, depending where you put it. And if you just want to do half rollbacks for right now, you can do that. I want you to really see if you can try to find that articulation. And one more time. Good. All right, I'm going to now release the towel. We're going to go down. If you need the towel under your head, feel free to do that. But just notice now what it feels like not to have a prop under your back. Okay. And just know you always have a towel to use in your practice if you ever need it. Okay. It does feel good, and it's not cheating. It's just helping you palpate and tactile your body parts a little bit more that might need it. Take your legs wide. Okay. Take your arms maybe like a low V. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to bring your pelvis side to side. So turn your pelvis to one side and your thighs are going to follow. So as I just tilted my pelvis, my top thigh is reaching long and pressing down to the floor. And then the pelvis comes back to center, and then shift the pelvis the other way. The thigh reaches long and presses down. Okay. So let's just go side to side with that and just pay attention to the pelvis tilting one way, and then it tilts the other way. And your chest is anchored. Okay. Chest and arms are anchored. I don't care when you breathe, just make sure you're breathing and you're not holding your breath. And gaze can go straight up to the sky because your top half is anchored. And then feel free to speed it up if you want or stay slow. Awesome job. All right, so we've just rotated the lower half a little bit. And now we are going to rotate the upper half. Awesome. All right, so bring your legs in. We're going to turn it, and you're going to either use your pillow to lie on, or you can cradle your arm in your hand. So if you're using a pillow, you can take both arms straight in front of you. All right, I'll show you. You kind of want a pillow here. I'm going to make it kind of just go like this, and then you can be like this. So I'll just keep my pillow here, but no, you can also cradle your arm under you. Okay, so we want to make a 90-degree angle at your hip and knee. And then this arm is reaching long. And if your bottom arm is down, your palms are on top of each other, about chest level. Okay, so you're going to anchor your bottom shoulder and your bottom hip, and then reach this top arm up to the sky. On your inhale, I want you to open your top rib. So inhale, rotate your chest to the ceiling, your hips stay where they are. So you notice how we just moved our lower half? Now we keep the lower half still. And you might come off that pet towel, that's fine. So you're gazing at this arm that's reaching on an inhale. On your exhale, you're going to bring the rib right back on top of the other rib and then come to center. So we inhale, pull the rib open. I don't want you to do it from the arm. You're doing it from your rib. Your arm just kind of comes for the ride. Exhale. Got it? All right, inhale. And your gaze just like an arc over. Exhale. Anchor that bottom hip. Do one more. Yes, good job. All right, so now before we go to the other side, I want you to turn to your stomach. It's going to feel odd because you have one side rotated, right, and the other's not yet, but that's okay. You're going to take your towel or pillow and just rest your forehead on it and bring your arms down by your sides. A little distance between your legs as your feet anchor. I just want you to reach your pelvis forward and so now we did our pelvic tilting on our back. Now let's do it on our stomach. So I want you to kind of reach your tailbone long and notice when you do that, you can feel your hip bones pulling towards your rib bones. And then when the pelvis goes the other way, feel how your hip bones and ribs pull away. So the tailbone long, you're now connected to your abs because you've shortened that distance in the front. So just play with that. So I just want you to feel kind of what happens with the pelvis. Now, shorten that distance. Keep that distance short. So you've got your tailbone long, your feet anchored, your arms down by your sides. Now, all I want you to do is turn your palms to face your thighs. Start to lift your hands up. So now you're going to just come up to a hover. Keep reaching your tailbone long. Let your shoulders roll forward. What happens when you pull them back? Roll them forward, pull them back, and feel how that arm back connection strengthens your back. One more time. Reach long through that tail and up. And now take your arms out to the sides. Hold that. Reach long through your tail. Have you gone into your low back? And lower everything down. Inhale it up. Hover. You're not lifting. We're not lifting yet. You're just hovering. Reach through that tail. Feel how you have to connect more with your abdominals. And lower. Inhale. Hover. Feel that arm back connection. We can pull the pinkies towards our thighs a little bit. Get a little bit more into that arm back connection. Reach longer through the tail. Feel your ab connection. And lower it down. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go to the other side for some rotation work. Just going to kind of sit back a little bit here. Okay, so I'm going to use this as a pillow. Yeah, good job. Okay, so again, you can use this as a pillow instead, or you can bring it down and have a pillow here for your head. All right, so we're anchoring our shoulder and our hip, and we're going to come up here, and you're going to use this rib. Open it up on an inhale. Keep your bottom hip down. And on your exhale, you just pull that rib to come on top of your other rib. Inhale. Exhale. And what helps me kind of get a little bit deeper of a twist is really anchoring this bottom shoulder and arm. Inhale. Do you feel that when you anchor that, it can give you a little bit more of a twist? Inhale. And I'm looking at this hand, this arm. It's helping me get into my neck rotation. All right, good job. All right, so now we're going to go on our stomach again. This time, I want you to use your towel under your pelvis. So I'm going to just make it like a square. All right, and I'm going to maybe I'll do it lengthwise. You can gauge what you want, like how I might do a long one again. I did like a kind of what I did in the front, but I made it what I did in the beginning, but I flattened it a little bit. Okay. And then your pelvis. So you kind of put your two hip bones onto that. Right. And then you'll feel the right spot. And then sort of your pubic bone is on the other end of it. And you're going to take one hand on top of the other and you're going to rest your forehead on your hands. And then this is going to be easier now to feel the tilt of the pelvis. So as we reach the tail long, right, you can feel that distance shorten. And with the pad there helps you connect a little bit more. And then as you reach your right leg, I want you to keep the alignment of your low back, keep your pelvis where it is, and try to lift your leg. You're reaching the leg long and you're lifting it, but you haven't changed the shape of your pelvis. Because what I quite often when I see with leg lifts is you kind of tilt the pelvis back and then you're searing right into your low back. So I want you to keep reaching long through that tail as you lift the leg. And then switch, reach and lift. And this is getting hip extension so we can really stretch out the front of the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And in order to really stretch out the front of the thigh, you notice you got to engage the back of the thigh, which is the seat and hamstring. And that just lengthens the front of the thigh. But you got to do that while keeping that pelvis steady, keeping that pelvis in alignment. All right, now once you've kind of like evened yourself out, you're gonna take your hands besides your shoulders. All right, and now you're gonna keep that pelvis long, keep those legs anchored, and you're gonna start to lift and you're gonna push your chest forward. So push your chest forward, push your tailbone back. Feel that opposition, and then notice how you're pulling your hip bones towards your rib bones, right? And when you do that, you're reaching longer through the tail, you're anchoring the feet more. Ah, inhale. So it's still articulation. We're starting with the upper back, and then we're working through the rest of our spine. And then on the way down, articulating, reaching it long. And hopefully that towel helps you keep your low back long. It also helps just to keep the pelvic alignment. You can kind of reach it a little bit deeper and then gaze in front of you. Get that neck involved. Really stretch out through the front of that spine. Inhale. Legs are long, feet are anchored. And if you want, as you come down, you can start to reach those legs. And now both legs lift like we did with the individual legs. We come up, up. And then as we go down, legs reach and lift. They don't have to lift a lot. We're not lifting the upper body a lot either. It's just a little teeny tiny swan dive. Good job. And then we lower, stretch it back. Oh, get a good stretch. My tag keeps coming out. Stretch it back here. Ah, feel. Bring the towel in for your forehead and just breathe here. Beautiful. Shift it to your hands and your knees. All right, so now hands are right underneath the shoulders. Tail is long. We just got a nice long back. And you're going to let your shoulder blades kind of think towards one another. And then we push them away. Inhale, sink. Exhale, push away. And you're not changing the shape of the spine at all. It's just the shoulder blades sliding along those ribs. Hopefully we have some movement in those joints right now after the warm-up we did throughout the class. Inhale. Exhale. And then keep it nice and long. Really keep that wide shoulder. As we inhale, start to roll the pelvis. So just like we did when we were on our back, we're now going to do it on our knees. And we articulate through the spine. Good. And then we're going to take it from the tail. From the tail, start to articulate, push through the tail until you have a nice flat back. Your head is the last to come. And then we're going to continue as you reach through the chest and reach through the tail as you find a nice even arc of the spine and extension. Exhale, flex it. Inhale, start to articulate. So we're focusing on that articulation. Inhale, inhale, inhale. And exhale. Good. One more time. Inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to come to neutral. Sit back, round the spine, round it, round it, round it. Tuck your toes under, push through those feet. Stretch your body. And then just let those feet land and come on up. Stretching through the front of the foot. Reach one arm up and then just side bend it over. Inhale. And exhale. If you're not comfortable on your knees, just sit on your tush. Whatever position works for you. You just got to get some side bendings in. And inhale. Exhale. Up and over with the spine. And release. Good. Awesome job. How do you feel? All right. So I just concentrated on really movement of the spine, which had a lot to do with the placement of the pelvis. And you can see how the towel really helps tactile. Those places that are pretty much vulnerable or tight or just need an extra level of support and care. And so hopefully you felt that and you felt yourself really getting into muscles that maybe you didn't feel with the towel. Walk around a bit, see how you feel throughout the rest of your day. I know my body is craving to stand and do some rollovers, or want to do it together. Let's just do it together. Stand up. We're going to do a few of these articulating down. I just feel like we need to fully end it, but like it always chops off my head. But not an excuse. Totally not an excuse not to do this. So we're going to let the chin drop. All right. And then start to articulate the spine. Let the pelvis start to sink back. Let the knees bend. And you're just going to bring it all the way down. I know I was super tight in the beginning of class. The fact that I can do this right now tells me I really did work through a lot of those tight areas. Let's do that again. Just bring the chin towards the chest. Articulate the spine like you're flexing up into your ab curl. And then we continue. And we're going to let those hips sink back and our knees bend so we can really just focus on the spine. And then just let it go. Let the head dangle. Okay. And then we're going to roll it back up. So take an inhale here. And see how your breath helps, right? When I cue the breath, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to breathe. Don't worry about it. Totally normal. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Stay for a breath. Inhale. Start to roll up. Exhale. That just feels like a better ending, right? Gotta always end in standing, I find. All right. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. If you want to subscribe to this channel, I'm here pretty much every week with a new video. Everything that I wear while working out, I have links for. So everything's affordable, comfy, buttery, soft, lots of compression. The age that I'm at, I need that stuff. I also have lots of free challenges on my website. If you go to balancetothecore.com, upper right hand corner says free challenges. Have that. All links are in the description below. So just read through if you're interested in any of that. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the mat. Take care.